Well, good morning, everybody. It is September 16th, and we hope you're alive and well and watching. And you know what's going on? It's the pumpkin latte was released today at Starbucks. That'll keep you awake. The 2001 finalist for the Toy Hall of Fame. Interested? And a couple remakes coming out that you might be interested in. All that and more on this morning's Morning Laugh.
Good morning. Hey, everybody. It's me. And this is the Morning Laugh. And I'm really excited about the day ahead of us here and what we have for you this morning. And first thing is, I'd like to say that Chris is not with us today. He's busy. He's in the bathroom. And coincidentally or not, so is Josh. So I'm just going to bring Brian in right now. Brian. Hello.
Good morning,
Brian.
Mike.
Good morning.
A lot of people don't realize that here at the Morning Laugh Studios, we have an enormous sized bathroom.
We do. It's a 4-bedroom suite.
It's really nice, actually. There's a snack area and other things, which I know what you're thinking, food in a bathroom, but believe me, it's classy. But sometimes it's just hard to leave. That's all I can say.
It is. It's actually a pretty nice bathroom.
Yeah.
In fact, now that I think about it, I feel like I should be in there more often. Chris is always in the bathroom.
Chris is in the bathroom a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Josh, not as much, but yeah. So
I think
anyway,
partly because the bathroom is so nice, and also partly because of his diet, I suppose.
Sure. Okay. So they will not be here today, as far as we can tell. Usually when you've gone to the bathroom, you don't come back for a week. Sometimes two.
Sometimes.
Anyway, so Mike, it's you and I this morning.
Good.
Handling the news. There's some news. There's some things we want to talk about. There's other things we have to talk about.
You know, people don't realize back in, 2002, when we started this whole podcast thing, it was just you and I to begin with.
That's right. We were like 16 or something. Yeah. We're like, hey, did you read this morning? Because there were still newspapers. Do you remember that, Mike? Like,
yeah, you were.
In USA Today.
Now we have to print it out.
Yeah, in large font. So let's see here. Ghostbusters reunion. Anyway,
so you did mention this, and we have talked about this many times. I wouldn't say I have a dislike of coffee. I don't like it. I guess that is a dislike. I don't hate coffee. I don't hate people that have coffee. I don't hate that it exists. I just don't like coffee very much. But I am very well aware of the fact that the pumpkin spice latte is a big deal. It's almost as big as the McRib, I would say. Seasonal food.
Yeah, I think so. In terms of seasonal foods, yeah.
And I haven't had a McRib in many, many years, but I would prefer that over a pumpkin spice latte.
The seasonal foods, if you're paying attention at home, the seasonal foods are pumpkin spice. Then of course there's the McRib. And then there's turkey for Thanksgiving.
And Shamrock Shake.
And Shamrock Shake. Those are the big. Those are the big four, as they call them. Yeah. Other than that, and Peeps.
And what?
Peeps.
Peeps, yes.
For Easter.
Yeah. And those little candy corns.
Candy corns. Sure.
Yeah.
Fall seems to have a little bit more edge.
Right. I mean, it used to be 4th of July had hot dogs, but they can't claim that anymore because people have convoluted the hot dog thing, and I've seen people eat hot dogs in the winter.
Yeah,
which I don't know if that's right. By the way, Brian, do you put ketchup on your hot dog?
I do not.
I don't either. I think that is awful. Yeah,
I'm a true American. I'll put some mustard on there, and if I'm feeling a little sassy, I'll put some relish on there. If I'm really sassy, I'll put sweet relish on there.
Yeah,
and then if I'm just totally insane, I might dump some chili on top of it. But that's rare. That's rare.
Chili dogs, that's good stuff.
Good chili dog, man.
My poor wife, she has made me prepared a hot dog for me when we've been at a picnic or something. She'll bring it to me and has put ketchup on it. We've been married 35 years. As recently as just a couple of years ago, she's given me a hot dog with a line of ketchup and mustard. And I can't eat this. I'm sorry, I just can't. And then I throw it at her.
Yeah,
in disgust.
Because if you don't throw it at her, the other option is to throw it up without
That's
even
right.
eating it. Because I see a hot dog even right now. I'm thinking about it, and then you get that thing going. So
There's something I put ketchup on a hamburger. I don't know what it is with the hot dog. Ketchup
yeah,
does not go on a hot dog.
a hamburger. Don't even get started, man. I'll go crazy on a hamburger.
I'll put
I'll
steak
put
sauce on there.
mayo, A1
Yeah,
sauce,
yeah,
great one. Guacamole is good on it.
yeah. An
And
egg. I put a fried egg on a hamburger. That's good.
egg, yeah, you can do
Yeah,
that too.
yeah. A
What do
peep.
you think? A peep,
Whatever. You can put a peep on a hot. That's it.
hot or cold.
I'm just thinking now how versatile both peeps and chili are.
Yeah, yeah. I think you're right. I think it's made of the same stuff. Really, I don't know. But pumpkin spice. So you're not a coffee person, but does the idea of a pumpkin spice coffee even sound remotely interesting to
It
you, Mike?
it sounds slightly more enticing. The latte flavors I smell good, and
Mm-hmm.
they smell like the candles, where it's like, oh, that's kind of a pleasant smell. It tastes like you could eat that, but it's got the overwhelming coffee taste under it all. I just can't
It
take it.
it never quite tastes like it smells. That's for
No,
sure. Because
no,
you're like, oh, that smells delicious.
right.
Well, it's still bitter. Still bitter. Even might be more bitter for all you know. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't acquire a coffee taste until I was late 30s.
And how did you do that? Did you just suddenly one day drink some coffee and go, oh, I like this now?
No, you know what it was? So this is my coffee evolution, is that when I started doing morning radio,
Mm-hmm.
it was so early in the morning, I would mandatorily get a cup of coffee from McDonald's.
To
And it's
keep yourself
before,
awake.
yeah, and that was before McDonald's really thought, hey, we should have good coffee. So it was the worst coffee on the planet. I used to call it my angry coffee because it would make me mad, and that's what would wake me up. It's like, I can't believe I'm drinking this crap. So, anyways, that kind of evolved to like work on those early mornings when I tried to work late in the evening. I couldn't stay up. So then I started drinking coffee, like if I was out in a restaurant or something late at night. And then I started acquiring the taste more and more as time went on. And for the late night coffee, then that kind of some way eased its way into my mornings. And
See,
here I
that's the story I always hear with coffee. Nobody likes coffee. They make themselves drink it because they feel like they need it for energy or whatever.
yeah.
And I just never thought that was a good idea for me.
And I've acquired. I like the smell a lot. The smell will do a
Oh yeah,
lot for me.
the smell. Well, the same with like tobacco and stuff. It's it smells really good, but yeah, but you shouldn't drink tobacco either.
No.
No,
And you don't want that secondhand smell either, Mike.
you don't want. Yeah,
That's the worst.
second half caffeine will keep you awake even more than
Yeah,
first hand
it will.
caffeine.
It will. It's more decaffeinated.
So what? You just like to drink coffee just black, or do you put cream and sugar in it, or what do you do?
Most mornings I drink it black. If I'm if I get a little sassy, I will have. If I'm out and about, I'll get a fufu coffee here and there. I might get some cream in it every once in a while. Not too much. I'm not too crazy when it comes to that, but I'll drink like the fufu stuff, and just somebody gives me a gift card for Starbucks, and I might go, you know what? Sure, I'll spend $6 on a cup of coffee because that's the only time is if I got a card.
So if you're gonna get like a latte or some fancy dancy thing, what would you get?
I'll do a chocolate or a caramel or something like that. Frappuccino, cappuccino, whatever it is. I don't know. Some chino, Al Pacino, hoorah, I hit the spot, kind of thing.
Chino and the Man, whatever.
Chino and the Man, all of them. I've had them all. They're great. They're fantastic.
All right. Well, yeah, pumpkin spice does smell good.
We got a Chico and the Man reference 8 minutes into the show. That's pretty good. Pretty good.
Try to squeeze them in every time.
Usually that's a 45-minute into the show reference, but we're on it today.
So I was very excited. As you know, Brian, I'm an iPhone user. I'm not. I certainly don't stick with the Apple ecosystem entirely. I actually mostly use PCs and things. But as far as the phone and stuff, I like the Apple mostly because my wife uses it and it's easy for her. And so if we have the same kind, it's best. But I do like Apple phones. I think they're easy and great. I love them. So I've been pretty excited because the new iPhone 13s was announced this week. On Wednesday, they were announcing it. And so I was thinking, all right. No, on Tuesday, excuse me. Tuesday, they were announcing it. So I was thinking, all right, this will be great. I'm going to watch and see what the cool new things are. I haven't gotten an upgrade for a couple of years. So I thought maybe I'll do this. And okay, are you sitting down? Because you are. I can see that.
I am.
I don't stand up for this because you will fall down in
hold on
in aghast.
Okay.
So this time, the iPhone I don't know. I'm so worked up about. They're gonna make one in red.
In the color red.
The
And this
color red.
this is
Not in the Soviet Union. They're gonna make a red phone.
so this is the big announcement that they made.
That was it. Well, that's not all. Also, the little camera notch at the top is 1.5 millimeters narrower,
Oh,
and I'm pretty sure it'll go through your battery just about the same speed. So all of that, and yet doesn't use up any more battery. I'm guessing. I don't know.
Wow, I can see why they called a press conference for something like that.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
Yep.
Wow. So you obviously you're going to get one.
Well, no, because I don't like red phones, but still pretty exciting.
Yeah, and same battery.
Of course, I'm sure it has better battery or better camera and a better speed processor, because you know how frustrating it is to be using your phone and you got to wait for it to buffer. I don't know why they keep doing this. Oh, it's faster and faster and faster. Okay.
You know, I have an Android, and mine actually came in black, but I got a case that's red and black. So, you know, because it came in black.
That's so that you have a black and red phone. That's like a nightclub color scheme you got going there.
Yeah, I like to be able to find it. This is me in my house. Where's the red phone? That is mainly black. No. Where's the red phone? In my old office, we had a bag that was black and red. And we called it red bag.
I thought for sure the reason your phone was red because you like Batman, and he had a red phone. Does that call the commissioner like just straight away? As soon as you pick it up
directly, and then I ask him to connect me to whoever. But I have to answer it, Commissioner. I need you to call my wife immediately. And he says, "Oh, very well, Batman." And then he does it.
That's nice.
And I hear it, Chief O'Hara on the other end. Is he calling again to talk to his wife? Yes, he is, Commissioner. Chief O'Hara. Oh, man, Batman reference. Ooh, 12 minutes in. All right, we're doing all right. We're pacing it.
No. I wish I could find that, put it on here.
I have it. I used to do it around my office all the time. And then somebody, Kevin, my buddy Kevin Wright, who was working for me at the time, he found it on 16 millimeter, and he cut it off and gave it to me. So I have a roll of just the bat signal coming in and out.
Really, that's funny.
Yeah, that's my favorite transition next to the Happy Days one with the checkered one that goes ba 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 ba.
Yeah, I like that one.
And the Fonz comes in. Hey, cutting hands.
I like the sound effect every time on Back to the Future that they show the photograph changing. You know what I'm talking about? That.
Yeah. Yeah. The other day I was where was I? I was at some office building, and they had a little noise thing that happened when the doors open up, and it was kind of like I was thought,
something's affected the space-time continuum.
So, yeah.
Well, you mentioned some movies being rebooted.
Yeah, so I saw this, and one of my favorite films when I was a kid was, I know most kids say that, and you say, oh, like Winnie the Pooh or something. No, Nighthawks with Sylvester Stallone.
That's fine.
Anyways,
my favorite movie in college was Over the Top. So
okay, well, that makes sense. So Stallone is helping to remake Nighthawks. I believe I don't know what network. It might be going to Netflix or something, but as a multiple part series, short-lived series with he's directing it. Stallone's directing it, and then Paul Grillo, who was in he's most famous for being in the elevator with Captain America before he beat up everybody in the elevator.
Oh, okay,
he was that guy. Yeah. Other people will know him from other stuff too.
There's a lot of famous elevator stories, like for example, I think you were in the elevator with the famous. No, I was in the elevator with the famous.
You were. Yeah.
That wasn't you. Sorry. All right. Sorry, that was a bad series.
From the elevator at the time.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. most trouble starts in an elevator. But anyway, so they're remaking. And if you don't remember Nighthawks, Nighthawks was the one with Sylvester Stallone was a cop in. There's a picture of him there. He is all young. He was a cop. He was Detective De Silva, and then his partner was Billy D. Williams. Because you don't get cooler than Billy D. Williams.
No, sir, you do not.
He's like, "What do you want to do, De Silva? Let's go dancing first, and then we'll go after this crook." Okay, and they did. There's a lot of discos in that movie, and Rutger Hauer's in it as this terrorist who comes to New York, and he's going to threaten the city, and then Stallone ain't going to take it. Nope. And Stallone, do you remember who his love interest was in that movie, Mike?
I don't remember the movie. I know only from that picture. I'm pretty sure I've seen the movie, but I don't remember anything about it.
He was estranged from his wife at the point in the movie, and when it starts, they're working on getting back together. His wife is played by Lindsay Wagner, the Bionic Woman.
Oh,
and in a rare motion picture with Lindsay Wagner in it. Of course, she was Wonder Woman, or she was Bionic Woman, and then of course she had a ton of made-for-TV movies during the 80s. And part of the 90s. But
yeah, I remember her being in a lot of made for TV things.
Yeah, Woman in Trouble movies, before Lifetime. Yeah, Mike's putting up a wonderful picture of the two of them together. They don't look like the power couple you would think.
No,
Stallone and Lindsay Wagner, but they're okay.
She really belongs with Steve Austin, and that's it. That's the end of the story.
That's the only way we all see it. I know. So apparently, Stallone's going to direct it. I guess he is going to be in it at some point, but it's in the early stages. But they did announce it today. Stallone's on a little tear right now. He's doing, Expendables was announced that he's going to be doing that again, and then of course Rocky 4, the director's cut, is supposed to be coming out in November, which I'm excited about. They cut out all the Paulie and the robot stuff nonsense.
Oh, that was awful.
Yeah.
Wait, so 4 was the Russian one, right?
Correct.
Okay, yeah.
And the most profitable of all the Rockies, which I find pretty amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it kept building up, and 2 was pretty good. No, 2 was good, but wow, 4 was.
Yeah, but you're talking box office numbers in terms of,
by
that point, it was a global phenomenon. So
Stallone has that iconic
on Christmas Day, Mike.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I don't have to say anything more. So
Stallone has this iconic crooked mouth, thing. And I remember this. I just looked this up and I found it. But this is the picture I remember from that movie, and I just remember his mouth like this.
Yeah, you know why his mouth's like that?
No.
The story is that the doctor, when he was born, he went in with those forceps and pinched a nerve or something in his face.
There are a lot of people like that. There's a high school teacher I had that taught science, and he had that, and it was from forceps.
Yeah. This is the same face that Bill Murray made too when he was in Caddyshack.
Yeah, that's right. Cinderella story.
Mm-hmm. He's got about 150 yards. So, yeah, Stallone's doing really well. I mean, he's 70, 71 or something now.
Mm-hmm.
Look, Clint Eastwood, Cry Macho, just came out.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one. Yeah, that's
90.
Yeah.
In my mind, I'm pretending this is a sequel to Bronco Billy.
I don't know if they are doing anything in that movie to change his age, if he ages in the movie somehow or something. There's a couple shots I've seen of that where he looks like not very old.
I don't know.
I'm trying to find it here.
You mean in some part of the movie goes, I remember 10 years ago. And
yeah, exactly.
Younger.
Yeah. I'm trying to find if I can find one of the shots of him like that.
I guess there was a question. There was a question about his age the other day and him aging, and Eastwood's reply was, "So I don't look 20 anymore. So what?"
So he's how old is he? He's in his
90.
90. This does not look like a 90-year-old man.
No.
That's what I mean. I don't know. I mean, it could be, I guess.
I was watching yesterday. I was watching this interview with William Shatner, and Shatner's 90, and Shatner looks like he's in better shape than me right now. I don't know why. I don't know why. I think it's because he holds his breath and releases it so much that it's better for your lungs. It focuses on a vacuum. So, and your sleep equipment. You're going to wash your sleep equipment.
What else is there?
There's a video before we go for there's a video of Shatner watching comedians do impressions of him, and he's critiquing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's critiquing it.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
I don't do that. I don't do that at all.
Have you seen Chaos on the Bridge, the documentary about Star Trek?
No, I have not.
Oh, you should watch it. It's pretty interesting. It has a lot of him interviews of him in there, and actually some of Leonard Nimoy and so forth too. But it's a pretty interesting. It's a lot of how it came to be and how it almost didn't happen and then it did and all that. But there's also a lot of behind the scenes stuff from it. But go ahead.
I think there was another documentary called The Captains, which was a documentary with Shatner hosting it, and he interviewed anybody who was ever a captain on any of the Star Trek series.
Yeah.
And he was interviewing Chris Pine, and Chris Pine, they started talking about Chris Pine had just done that movie where the train with Denzel Washington.
Oh, yeah. The runaway train thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Speed.
Shatner goes,
no, that was Candle.
Train Speed.
With Sandra Bullock.
Shatner had done a movie where he was on a train, a runaway train, which I just happened to have seen maybe 3 months prior, flipping through the channels. And it's kind of the same premise, except Shatner was like an ex-con, somehow was on that train. And then,
well, I mean, if you're going to have a movie about a runaway train, that's pretty much the only premise.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a lot of variation in that scenario.
Shatner
you're headed toward a town that's gonna suffer if you crash into it.
Exactly it. Shatner's telling the story to Chris Pine. He goes, I remember I was on top of the train. And they said, don't worry, Bill, we're gonna go 20 miles an hour. And they said, it doesn't look real enough. We're gonna go faster. And I said, okay. And they're going 30. Bill, it doesn't look fast enough. So then they tell me 55 miles an hour. I'm hanging on for dear life. And pretty much the movie.
Did he have a communicator with him?
Get me out of here, Bones. I'm a doctor, not a beamer. I don't know that. I own a beamer. I'm a doctor. What?
So I saw that there's a new Star Trek coming out, and it's with Pike, the original captain from before, the captain that would have been before Kirk.
Right. I believe is it Discovery?
Yeah, something
There's
like that.
A lot of them out now.
Oh.
Nickelodeon just launched a new one called Prodigy.
The Slamming of the Enterprise?
It's an animated one. But Kate Mulgrew returns as Captain Janeway in a hologram. So that's kind of cool.
Let's see they're redoing Flight of the Navigator. I loved that movie. Flight of the Navigator was one of my favorite all-time movies. It was just so fun to watch.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in years, but that was that what's his name from E.T.?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Or was it the other one?
No, it was. I'll tell you here in 1 minute.
It's either Lucas Haas or it's the kid from. Correct me because I don't know.
I guess Joey Kramer.
Oh, that's not the kid.
Is that
Joey Kramer?
Yeah, it is Joey Kramer. For some reason, I thought you were right. Paul Rubens was in there.
Really?
Yeah. He was the voice of Max.
Oh, yeah? Work back to 6. Oh!
And Sarah Jessica Parker, of course. I remember her in there. That was just a fun movie. I like that one.
And I think that part of the deal was the confusion is they wanted people to think that it was Elliot. That kid looked like Elliot from E.T.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was him.
The Kramer kid, yeah.
I watched a special effects YouTube video on the special effects and how they did it in that movie. And it's so funny because they had to literally, like, when, I don't know if you remember it, when the spaceship door opens, it looks like aluminum lava kind of pouring out of it that forms steps.
Uh-huh.
They had to that was animated. They drew that in on the frames after the fact, just frame by frame.
It's a Disney film, though, right?
It wasn't originally, I don't think. Maybe it was. It is now. The remake is Disney. So I don't know.
Only because Disney got really ahead of itself.
You're right. It was Buena Vista, so that's Walt Disney. Yeah.
Okay. Because Disney, remember with the Black Hole? Remember that movie, The Black Hole?
Yeah.
That was their first, we're going to compete in the sci-fi realm against Star Wars. Actually, I think it was before Star Wars, but everything was animated in that movie. Hand-drawn animation over everything. So kind of makes sense. Flight of the Navigator would have something similar to that back then. It's amazing, too, when you watch certain movies and the effects hold up. It's like, wow, these guys were out of their,
Yeah.
But even now, when you watch chase scenes and stuff like that with cars, it's like, look at this. I always tell my kids, look at this. This is real people, real cars, real chase, nothing, no CG, no nothing. Just
there's a YouTube channel called The Corridor Crew. Anyway, they specialize in doing special effects for movies and videos and stuff. Anyway, but they have a regular YouTube channel where they talk about the processes and all that. But they oftentimes will bring up old film and then discuss the effects in there.
Yeah.
One of them was the worst effects ever. You know what they consider, and I agree, the worst movie effects ever. This is only so bad because at the time that they made this movie, they should not have been nearly this bad. Do you know what it was?
I'm going to take a shot in the dark only based on what came to my mind first as something that didn't hold up, which is the melting head in Indiana Jones.
Oh, no, that's not it. Actually, that one's pretty cool.
Okay.
It's the Scorpion King with the rock.
Oh, yeah. It's hideous.
I remember watching that thinking, what the heck?
I did watch that. I think I watched that one. Did they go back and they try to reanimate it?
Yeah.
To make it look real?
And they make it look real, really good.
Great.
But of course, it's 20 years later and they have all the tools to do it. But
actually, if you watch the original Spider-Man, it's it's clunky.
Yeah.
The animation now by today's standards.
Yeah.
But yeah, that rock one, it's the dead eyes. They always talk about
Uncanny Valley.
Yeah, that's right. And they talked about Polar Express, Tom Hanks. The eyes are just kind of the whole time.
Yeah.
Every kid. Yeah. That movie's creepy to watch, really.
It is. Hey, Brian, I have something exciting to share with you.
Shatner was in that too because there was a train.
And the Polar Express, another runaway train movie.
All his scenes were cut out, though. I gotta stop this train. I gotta stop Pinnacle.
I have an exciting announcement. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
The Morning Laugh presents the Victor Update.
All right, here we go. So I'm attributing this to Victor.
Okay.
2 African servals escaped from a pet store owner's barn in Alabama. Got it? So if you're wondering, and Victor is nowhere to be found, by the way.
Huh.
Don't know where he was. He did call earlier this morning to tell me that these were not his cats. He was very adamant about it. But so I thought when I saw this, oh good, another wild animal escape. Turns out though, as I looked at this, we actually looked at these cats as pets before. And they're let me find them here. I have a picture of one here somewhere. Oh, here it is. That is actually, those are very big. That cat's like, I don't know, it's pretty big. It's up to your knees.
The picture you're showing, I would assume it looks like the size of a medium-sized dog.
Medium-sized what?
Medium
dog, yeah.
Dog.
Yeah, that's about it. But they're people own them as pets, and so escaped from the pet store. So it's more like a domestic cat that escaped, or 2 of them.
But it looks like a cheetah and a lynx or something.
Yeah,
it looks like a lynx or something.
I think there is a lynx in it. I think it's a hybrid of a lynx and something else.
Huh.
Good eye, Brian.
I have that one cat joke.
The fact that you've been studying zoology for the last 7 years every day is really starting to pay off.
Yeah, finally. I do a lot of crockwords. So I like the fact that Victor called you in the morning.
Yeah.
Hello, Mike. Yes.
Listen, I know you've been tracking my progress, and
Just
before
so
you
you
say
know,
anything, these are not
I'm
my
calling
cats.
you. I'm calling you on a red iPhone. I don't want to rub it in, but if you got any story about cats, not mine. Not mine. I got to go. Bye.
So this was not the exciting story I was thinking it was when I first pulled it up, but it's it's.
I think
mean,
if
they're
somebody
cool
saw
cats.
that in their neighborhood, they
What?
would be freaked out. If somebody saw that in their neighborhood, I think they'd be freaked out.
Absolutely, especially two of them, and they're big cats, very big.
Are they
kind of
bossy?
cool? They'd be kind of cool pets, though.
You know, cats like whine at the night. I wonder if they're like really good singers, though. Oh.
You know, they were walking down the street there in where did I say they were? In Alabama, and Sammy Davis Jr. looked at him and said, "Who are these cats?"
Except that went like this. Who are these cats?
Yeah, you're right.
Pepper Candyman. For those of you listening to the podcast, I just did something really stupid with my eyes. Anyway.
It's a little offensive, actually.
It was pretty offensive.
Oh, my gosh. So, Brian, I want you to guess here. I don't know how much of this you read, but I want you to guess who has been inducted into the Toy Hall of Fame for 2001.
For 2001. So I would think my hope is always Stretch Armstrong.
Or I'm sorry, 2021. I meant this year.
That changes things.
2021. But it's not toys. It's not necessarily toys from this year. It's just this is the year they were inducted in.
Okay. All right. Yeah, like I said, Stretch Armstrong, 2020, maybe not 2021. That's ridiculous. How about I'm sure Mr. Potato Head's already in there. All the classics are probably in there. Holly Hobby.
Nope.
Oh, she's not a real toy. It's just a hobby anyway. Okay.
And it's kind of a tough question because they may already be in there. She may already be in there from before.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I'll tell you, here are some of the finalists. Cabbage Patch Dolls.
Ooh.
Risk.
Risk.
American Doll. Or what, I don't know. What are they called?
American Doll?
Huh?
Like American Doll, the big franchise.
Yeah, the big. Yeah, I said Risk. Settlers. I can never say that word. It sounds right. Settlers of Catan. The Settlers of Catan.
Okay.
The He-Man action figures.
Oh, okay.
That. You Sunk My Battleship.
Battleship.
Yeah. And remember, that toy where you push it along the floor and the little balls pop around inside of it.
Yeah.
That whatever that's called. That was one.
That doesn't have a name.
Probably. I don't want to have to read the article.
I'm going to tell you this, man. That thing, that little ball bubble thing, is fascinating. Even as an adult, I will watch it and go, so what is going on? What mechanism is being created here?
It's called the Fisher-Price Corn Popper.
Oh, huh.
Yeah.
You'd think it'd be called a gumball something or whatever.
Listen to this. These also, other finalists included the Pinata, Mahjong, or Mahjong, just depending on how you want to pronounce it.
These are old games, man.
A toy fire engine, just generically a toy fire engine, I guess. Sand. That was one of the finalists. How would you like to lose out to sand?
How is sand?
We spent 3 years developing this toy, and we didn't get in the Hall of Fame. Who did? Sand.
In the very first annual toys thing, it would be like the nominees are rock, stick, dirt, and sand.
And mud, but they've been disqualified because they require water.
And the winner is, I'm so nervous, rock.
Narrowly beat out by paper.
Excepting for rock will be Boulder. I just want to say my son is very, very proud he couldn't be here tonight.
Can you imagine?
Sand. It's ridiculous. Go back a second. You said, what was the one? Settlers of what?
Settlers of Catan. Have you ever played that?
Isn't that the game? What's his name created on Parks and Rec?
Oh gosh, that one. No, that was crazy.
That's what it
That's
made me
funny.
think of when you said it.
Settlers of Catan's pretty fun. If you've never played it, you should play it sometime. It's pretty fun.
It's a board game?
Yeah, it's a board game. Basically, you have to manage. I think there's 4 different things. Like there's wood, brick,
It's
sheep,
all the toys.
sheep, and wheat. You have those 4 things you manage, and it's kind of like a cross between Monopoly and something else. But you have to manage. You have to manage those things to be able to buy more houses and buy more roads.
Oh,
And
okay. So it's one of those learning games.
it's actually really fun. It's a strategy game, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Do you guys play board games at home at your house with your kids?
So it's not like Mystery Date or anything.
No, it's not like the Game of Life Mystery Date. Open the door.
All right, whatever. Anyway, did I what when I
Do you
was
play?
growing-
Do you play? You guys play board games at your house?
We do
Do you?
periodically. Yeah.
We love those. We love playing with the grandkids now.
There's a lot of yelling in this house when it comes to board games.
Really, you should play Settlers of Catan. It's really fun. It's super simple, but it's fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Healthy for our family. You know how everybody yells when you play Sorry? Remember Sorry?
Yeah. Well, that game's mean.
Oh my gosh, it's horribly mean.
Yeah.
I can't even go into it. There's been so many fights in this house. We always say sorry when we do it in Spanish.
Jenny and I, we went on not a camping trip. We went up to our neighbors have a cabin. So our family and their family went up to this cabin of theirs to spend the weekend. And we were just there for a couple nights. And we decided the kids were up doing something. So the 4 of us played Uno. And man, she got so upset with him every time it came around. You know, he'd play a double or whatever, and she was, "You're trying to make me lose." Yeah, and I mean, she just got livid. It was, I was like, "Oh man."
Yeah, Uno's one too that could set people off. Oh man,
I love those games.
My favorite one is like if you play spoons or was it peanut? What's the one where you put your hand up your nose?
Yeah.
Whatever. Those games are always funny. We used to play up years ago at my family's cabin. There was another family up there, and they always had their grandma with them, and she was always in her 80s, as long as I ever knew. And we play spoons with her, or we play that one, and she'd always be like, "It was so funny to watch her just quickly try to do it."
Yeah.
Just the ridiculous nature of some of these games. Yeah,
it's all fun till somebody gets a bloody nose.
That's right. Then you're off to the hospital. So, yeah, I don't know. What was what's your favorite game that's probably or game or action figure toy that would be in the Hall of Fame, Mike?
The Evel Knievel motorcycle.
Yeah,
the wind-up one.
That's a classic.
That might, I don't know if that's there or not, but that should be there.
That's really a classic.
That one, and actually the Steve Austin, where you look through the back of his head to see through his bionic eye. Did you ever have that one?
Oh yeah, I had that one.
Yeah.
My parents dumped a lot of money in that $6 Million Man stuff. Not $6 million, but pretty close. Yeah. We used to have, I don't know if you remember this, but it'd be like there was various sports, but one of them, the biggest seller, I think, was the football one. It's a little football kicker. You put a little football in front of him, and you smash his head. And he would kick the uprights.
Yeah, I remember that.
I love that thing. Just like, bam, you know. And the basketball one wasn't nearly as good, but, you know, they had a hockey.
Do you remember when the little handheld Coleco electric toys came out where you play football and race car and whatever?
Hockey, all those, yeah.
I was so excited about those. Those were the funnest games.
I still have my original one, and my wife had the double head-to-head one.
Yeah.
It was the player one.
Yeah.
She has that one.
You really still have that? Does it work?
Yeah.
Wow.
Nee.
Yeah.
Nee. The first downs are nee. Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then
my favorite was the football game where you had to take every little plastic character and bend the things underneath, put them on the metal, and then it vibrates, and then you watch them move.
Yeah. This is what I love is that, you know, I sit there and complain to my kids, "Hey, get off your phone." Flash back to me as a kid.
Yeah,
Same
really.
thing.
Yeah.
Yell at them. We had one game. Actually,
Uh,
do that for a cell phone.
I read an article a long time ago about it was just went on and on about how kids play these games these days, and they have their head down in the game there, and it's ruining their minds. They're not applying themselves, and da da da. It goes on and on and on and on about all this stuff. And at the end, you find out this article was written like 200 years ago about the game of chess.
Uh,
And how kids are playing
Oh.
chess too much, and they're not experiencing life. And
it's extremely common. Everything we do has been done.
yeah,
I remember there was a thing like the Atkins diet, that whole no carb thing.
yeah,
It's been around since the 1800s.
yeah. Well, it's been around since before they created agriculture.
Well,
So,
and flour, right? What are carbs?
carbs.
Just eat your wolf. Okay. This should be great with something that's cakey. What's cake? I don't know, but it just needs something soft to chew with it. Pop up the meat juices. All right, we'll work on it.
This hot dog would be a lot better if it weren't for the ketchup, and if we only had some sort of bread to put it in.
Used a hot dog and ketchup back then. They were like,
This is the worst ever.
disgusting. Yeah. Do you remember
So,
Merlin? Do you remember the
what do
game Merlin?
Oh yeah, definitely.
It was red, kind of looked like a phone.
Yep.
Tic-tac-toe and a bunch of other games.
Yeah. Do you remember Simon Says, that game, Simon or whatever? That
Simon. Yep.
beep, 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 beep. Yeah.
Like the new version of that is that bop it, twist it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
I don't know.
Have you ever been any good at the Rubik's Cube?
I could always get 2 layers. That was about it.
It takes me a while. I get 2 layers, but yeah, they say if you have to try to get a layer, like you have to figure it out, then you'll never solve it. It has to be something you just have to know how to do it. Otherwise you can't solve it.
That's very, all the kids that used to read the books on it, they used to think that's cheating.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, get out of these handcuffs. There you go. That's how the Rubik's Cube could be.
So what are you watching?
Let's see. What am I watching? So the Marvel series What If, that's on Disney. My
Yes.
son's been bugging me to watch that. And as a kid, I used to read the comic What If all the time. So I was really curious. It's really well done. The animation is fantastic in it. Yeah. And then they got a lot of the original actors back to do the voices. Actually, Chadwick Boseman actually does a voice in there. Obviously before he passed away, which is very cool. Even Kurt Russell reprised his role for the voice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I have a question for you regarding Marvel stuff, since you know more about it than I do. And so you know how in Marvel they have these different timelines that could have happened. So this happens in this timeline, but there's an alternate universe where this happens and all that. I would watch Loki. And in Loki, the whole thing is about the fact that they have a group preventing that from ever happening.
Correct.
So how does it ever happen? Or does that only ever happen in this timeline? In other timelines, there is no group to control the timelines.
I think if you really think it through, Mike, that there are multiple timelines. And then, of course, you're talking about these guys are going out to prevent that from happening. But due to COVID, nobody will take those jobs. So that's why there's so many timelines available.
Because they can't find people.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of timeline managers out there, but they're just taking the government money instead.
We're just sitting back going like, why would I go work when I can make these?
Because timeline management only pays like $20 an hour.
Yeah, it's not much.
So,
and not only that, it's one of those jobs that once you get it, you keep it. So, if they could take that chance and not,
they have to work from home.
The pandemic's affected everyone, Mike. And that's my answer. That's all you're getting out of me.
And you and I both have watched a lot of Brooklyn Nine-Nine in the past years, and that's coming to an end, you say?
Tonight's the big season finale, or the series finale. It's a 1-hour series finale, and I got to say, that got us through the pandemic. We had not watched that in our house. Kept hearing great things from you and other people about the show. So finally, during the pandemic, we started binge watching it, and then finished it up.
It's such an easy show to watch.
Wow, it's so fun.
And it's just fun and silly. It's got great characters. When that first started, I remember I saw it and I thought it felt like just a summer filler show. Like, that they had this and they have to get rid of it somehow. But it turned out it was actually pretty good.
I was shocked, and early on when that show hit the air, I wasn't watching it, but I saw critics said one of the funniest police shows since Barney Miller, and I thought, well, that's a pretty big statement.
Yeah.
But Barney Miller was a little different, but it is. Barney Miller was funny. I remember Barney Miller being very funny. Got funnier as you got older too, understanding all the jokes.
Yeah.
But Brooklyn Nine-Nine is great. It's good. I hope that however they sum it up, there's an excuse to make a movie or something periodically here and there.
Jake Peralta, The Beginning.
Yeah. Right. There's going to be some kid portraying him as a child.
Some comedian on Saturday Night Live that decides to become a cop.
Going to solve the case of the lemonade stand. Something like that. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, the children's animated series. Yeah. Gilligan's Island, when they did Gilligan's Island animated series.
Those. Do you remember back in the day, the Saturday morning cartoons were such a big deal? And I remember once a year they would have like a special one evening, like a Friday night or something, that previewed all the new Saturday morning cartoons coming out. And that was such a big deal. We watched it. Oh, this is going to be great. I remember the Brady Bunch cartoon, the Gilligan's Island cartoon, all those.
Yeah. Going way back, the Banana Splits, all the live action Sid and Marty Krofft ones, like the Sigmund the Sea Monsters or Lidsville. Yeah.
Remember Lidsville? That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just it. It was an event, man. And then, I remember my mom was just like, "You are not getting up early to watch this." And I remember my brother and I would sneak out, and we'd have to turn the TV on, and then you would hear the tube go, and that would be enough to wake my mom up. We'd hear my mom's ankle go pop, and then we'd go turn it off, and then we'd run back in and sleep.
I remember that too. You had to turn the TV on for a few minutes before it would warm up enough so you could see the picture.
It would go from black, and then it would just kind of come out.
It'd take a while. Yeah, I was trying to remember some of those other ones. There was, the Sigmund and the Sea Monster. Oh, Bugaloos.
Bugaloos.
Huh?
Oh, my favorite one was Wonder Bug.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, the dune buggy. It was a lot like Speed Buggy, except in live action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it was like Herbie the Love Bug, but it was a dune buggy series.
It had eyes in the front.
Yeah.
And then, of course, your favorite, Electro Girl and
Electro Woman and Dinah Girl.
There you go. Do you knew one of them or something?
No. Our neighbor was cousins with Dinah Girl. So one of my friends, she was just one of our friends in the neighborhood when we were little, and her cousin was Dinah Girl.
Huh.
Yep.
Just because we're throwing out people we knew kind of through other people. My sister's best friend's uncle is the Japanese guy who knocked the door off of Buford T. Justice's squad car in Smokey and the Bandit.
Really? Oh, man.
Yeah.
Remind me to punch your mom in the mouth.
Classic comedy, We have to talk about this before we're done here today, but Norm Macdonald passed away on Tuesday.
He did. This was a little heartbreking to me.
It took I thank goodness was sitting down because it literally took the wind out of me. So just for reference, 2 nights before that, I happened to catch part of that movie, The Animal, with Rob Schneider, and Norm makes a cameo in it. And I recorded it just to show my kids because they have a thing for Norm. Because Norm, they know that I watch a lot of Norm stuff and I listen to Norm a lot. But then Norm was on the Fairly Odd Parents cartoon as Norm the Genie, like animated just genie. So they're familiar with Norm. So anyways, I recorded that the other night and I just showed them all, and we were all laughing at Norm just being part of this mob. Just the way Norm would be in the mob. And then when I told my son was there when I found out, but my daughter, she's like, "You're kidding, Dad. It's not even funny." I said, "No, it's true." And she was like, "Oh my gosh." I mean, her family was rattling.
Your whole family was rattled by it.
Great.
It's if
we all knew
so,
it from different things, you know.
Norm was one of my very favorite comics. He was just not your typical comic. His jokes were so clever, and yet some of them seemed so simple, but the simplicity was so clever to him. The quintessential Norm Macdonald. If you've never seen anybody watching this, you search on YouTube and find the moth joke or the moth story by Norm Macdonald. I think he did it on Conan, and that tells you who Norm Macdonald is in his humor. It's so perfect and so funny.
That's the best. And then do you remember him being on the Bob Saget roast on Comic
Yes. This is what I remember. He talks about, so everybody goes up and it's so filthy on these roasts. I don't even like watching them anymore. They're just disgusting. None of the people in the panel even know the person they're roasting. It's so disgusting. But Betty White was on that one, and Norm Macdonald got up and said, you know, Betty White's getting up there in age. Some people say she's over the hill. Not in the car she's driving. And I cracked up because I thought everybody's so disgusting, and he's just throwing out these just great little.
Funny because that one he decided to do like, you know, he did it like the Dean Martin roast.
Yeah.
And then like maybe 3 of them really caught on to what he was doing and were laughing really hard. The rest of them were scratching their heads like, this is terrible. Like, no, it's genius.
The funny thing is he put all those horribly dirty, raunchy comics to shame. They don't realize how stupid they looked compared to him.
Oh, man. There was I mean, of course, SNL is where everybody kind of really got to know him.
Yeah.
For me, I recall one of the first jokes that really just stuck in my head was it was like Schwann's recalled several items this week as they've discovered a salmonella in one of the foods. So the flavor of ice cream, pork swirl. It's the way he delivered the lines where it was half the battle. Not only genius jokes, but then genius delivery style, unlike anybody else. And I think, of course, his last Letterman appearance, the second to last night, Norm came out and did almost the picture perfect stand-up set on Letterman to send Letterman off. That was the whole one with, I'm afraid of the Germans. I don't know if you know about history, but back in the early 1900s, they decided to go to war with the world.
Yeah, yeah.
That whole set is great. The grandfather picture thing. Yeah. Let me show you.
One of my favorite things of his, and pardon me if this is at all offensive to anybody, but it was a great thing on. He's doing the Weekend Update, and he says, "Worst job in the world, crack whore."
Crack whore. And then a year later,
that's the best.
The joke again with the worst job in the world, assistant crack whore. I mean, that's so great. You wait a year to do the same joke again.
Assistant crack whore.
It's so funny. Then but then the whole SNL thing with all the OJ stuff too was absolutely fantastic. And then, of course, you've got he did that movie Dirty Work, which he had written, and But outside of that too, it's just all of the Tonight Show appearances, the Conan appearances.
There's a montage of videos online of times Norm Macdonald saved an interview.
Oh yeah,
and it's when interviews start to kind of look dry, but he's one of the other guests. But he's just great.
Again, the
never disappointed.
Courtney Thorne-Smith interview is the greatest interruption of Norm ever. She's trying to promote the movie Chairman of the Board that she did with and oh my god, it's like 9 minutes long, but hang in there. It is so stinking funny. But even outside of all that, just the stories that all these other comics, David Spade and Jim Brewer, all those guys, anytime they share a Norm story, they're ridiculously funny.
Yeah.
Do you ever get to see him live, Mike?
No.
I didn't either. That's a huge regret I have.
Yeah.
Always meant to do it and just never got around to it.
Yeah.
I went down a path last night, actually, or a couple nights, last 2 nights. Been watching a lot of Norm stuff, but I did watch the Comedians of Cars Getting Coffee episode with Norm. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I did see that one. Yeah,
and they reflect a little about getting older and things. Norm talking about clean comedy. The older he gets, the more he believes clean comedy to be the superior form of comedy.
There's a lot of interviews of people asking about his faith too, which he wasn't too shy about. And in the world he lived in, it was certainly not the most popular view to believe that there was something greater than himself.
Well, if you recall that when he was a judge on Last Comic Standing.
Yeah, I remember that very well.
One of the comedians did some jokes about the Bible, and he was like, "Hey, you ever read the Bible? Maybe you should read the.
Maybe you should know what you're talking about."
Yeah, understand what you're talking about.
He said, "If you're gonna make fun of an entire religion, you should probably know what you're talking about."
Yeah. And then he said,
that funny thing is, because Roseanne Barr was on that one, and I remember I watched this when it was on air, and she said, "I love how you talk about the Bible. That's really brave." And the first thing I thought of was brave. Everybody ridicules Christianity. How is that brave?
Right.
Supporting Christianity would have been the brave move.
Yeah.
Ridiculing it, that's what everybody. So to me, that was ridiculous. But he stood up against her and said, "That's not brave at all."
He called her out and said, "Brave? I don't think it's brave." And then, but the greatest thing he said after that was very plain and simple. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
And that was it. That was his critique.
And he didn't like it.
Yeah.
Because.
Yeah, and Norm, you know what I mean? Some of the things that were funny to him, other people might not just understand, but it was just his sense of humor. I mean, if you go down that rabbit hole of looking at these clips, there's things I know that will offend people.
If you watch any great sitcom of the past, or even any really good movies, it's all character, driven, and you could take a line from a character, like from say Kramer or something like that, and it's not funny unless you know the character of Kramer. And with Norm, it's the same way. Knowing who he was and how he was and everything, a lot of what he said was hilarious, where nobody else could really say it. It just wouldn't have come across right.
Yeah.
But just his irreverence for structure and formulaic comedy was just so funny. It tore that all apart.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Norm's acting style, because I believe it's very the simplicity of what he does. He makes it look very simple, but it kind of like that. I'm searching for words. Yeah.
He does a lot of there's a lot of when he mentions it. Watch the moth thing. When he mentions the other characters' names in it, it's like he's trying to figure out a name to stick right there. It's so funny.
I look at my son, Pierre Malia or whatever.
Yeah.
Or something French Canadian names. Yeah.
I think he calls his son Gregorith or something.
Yeah. My favorite,
I think
the dolphin joke is also one of my favorite ones.
Yeah. There's so many great ones. I would like to wrap up and tell everybody, make sure to visit themorninglaugh.com, go to crosseyeedcomedy.com, check us out there, and you could and please subscribe and follow us, or whatever happens on whatever you're watching this on. That works. But that's supposed to help us. And check out generationallyfunny.com. We're on tour and we'll be near you soon. I was wondering, Brian, if you could we could leave with you telling everybody what national day it is today, or some of them, as Norm Macdonald.
As Norm Macdonald? All right.
Yeah.
As a really not the best tribute ever, but I'll do the best I can.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Hey, it's a National Play-Doh Day. Yeah, Play-Doh. Yeah, and National Guacamole Day. Yeah, because if you like guacamole, today's your day. And then National Cinnamon Raisin Bread Day, or as I like to call it, diabetes bread.
That's good.
And of course, it's Mayflower Day, which whatever that is, I don't know. I'm gonna miss him to death, man.
Yeah, he was genius. Every time I saw him doing anything, I thought, I got to see this. It's great. So
anytime he popped up in something, you were like, "Ooh, hang on, nobody knows what's gonna happen next." Yeah, I would say go down that rabbit hole on YouTube. Check out some old clips of Norm.
The more you watch, the more you'll love him.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching.
I don't have the ending set up. Hold on.
Wait.
Okay.
I'm gonna eat some. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. I'm just gonna talk for a minute while Brian gets ready for us to sign off. Anyhow, I'm getting the light. So we'll see you next week, and check us out online. Good day. Good morning.
Morning.
Happy New Year.